Hi, and welcome to the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind for Monday, December 29th, 2025. This is the last one of the year. Can you believe it's been a whole year already? So, today we are going to be talking about creating a shop for Skool and for Substack. And these are admittedly really kind of down and dirty shops, but it's it's a place where you're going to have links that you can send people, and if they're interested in buying your merchandise, or if you have a community of, say, crocheters and you're looking for a way to help people be able to sell their products in a way that doesn't require them to learn Etsy and pay all the fees that Etsy wants to charge, and maybe have a book or something. And you want just another space where you can share that, you can go here and buy it. It's super simple and you're already in my community, so just pop over there and buy the book. Um, it's it it's it's really easy to set these up. So we're going to start with Skool first, and I'm going to already presume that you guys know how to set up your, if you have like a print on demand uh offer that you're working with, we'll use, you can use those, and I'll show you how to use it from my Spreadshop account, how to set it up. And then I'm going to assume that you already know how to create a link, maybe on Stripe or PayPal, if you're selling actual physical products that you're sending from home. Say you're creating a crochet product, or maybe you make homemade soap or something. You can make a PayPal link, or you can make a Stripe link, and so people have something to click in order to initiate the sale, and then you would work on delivering the product. Is that a fair place to start with everybody, or am I confusing people already? Okay, I don't see any
Is
too confused faces.
is there a place we can go to learn that stuff? Because I'm not sure that I do know that, but I don't want to derail the class.
I I do have an article that I created on Substack about how to make a pay what you want link, but I actually could, Allie, go back and create a specific article about how to create a link to a product that you're going to sell. I'll do that for sure.
Thank you. Okay, great.
Okay, so so great to see you all here. Let me go open my Skool page up to make sure I know which one I'm going to use. All right. So we're going to come over here to the classroom. I'm going to hit share screen. And we're going to come over here. I'm going to share this one. Just share the whole screen. Okay, can you see the Skool community, the classroom? Okay. So what I did is I created a new class or a new course. So you just click the new course button, and then you're going to create a cover image. And the cover image, if you want to write this down, is 1460 by 752 pixels. And then I made it open so all members could access it. I named it Merch Shop, and I just put a little description in there that you can find merchandise that supports um, support changing the world by wearing our merchandise with pride. It's just really, just like I said, down and dirty and fast. In the classroom itself, I made folders. And you make folders by just clicking these little dots up here, and you're going to add a folder. And I made them into different categories because I have t-shirts and stickers and bags and books that I sell. So we'll just do the t-shirts. These are a couple of the options that you can choose from on my on my Spreadshop account. The reason I like Spreadshop is because Spreadshop connects with YouTube. So you can sell your products on YouTube as well as on Skool and on Substack. But all I did basically was click on the link and you pick whichever image you want to share and you right click and you say save image as and you go over to oh, hold on cancel. You go over to your page and then I'm just gonna edit this one. Well, actually this is the bags category, so excuse me. You come down here, I'm gonna put my cursor there, do Control V, Z, because I didn't copy image. See how the image just pops up there? You go right underneath it and you type in, select bag option and color. Click here. And then you go back over to the page and you copy the URL. First, you have to move the thing from Zoom. You go back over, you highlight this, you click the link button here, you paste that link in, and you hit save. So now when people go to this page, and you can have one page per item if you want, or you can have them all listed out like I've done here. When they click on the link, they get taken to the page where they can just add it to the cart, or they can select what color they want, or whatever the options are. All right, Maria, what you got?
I just quickly wanted to ask you if there's my Spreadshop can be used from the UK or is just for North America.
Mm, I don't know, to be honest. I
Okay.
can pop over here and see.
Just because there are so many around, so if this is something that you know and trust, like I would take your recommendation for it.
I know Printful and Printify do
Mm-hmm.
function in the UK, and I use Spreadshop mostly because it connects with my YouTube account,
Mm-hmm.
but and I don't know if they do or not.
Okay. I'll double check, but I thought it was, I mean, if it's something that you use and you're happy with, I'll trust your
Mm.
judgment and your
Looks like North America,
on
Canada,
Australia.
and Australia.
Okay,
So,
fair
yeah,
enough. Thank you for checking.
you're welcome. Okay, so do we have any other questions? Yes, Allie.
So is this what's it called now?
Spreadshop.
Spreadshop? That's a print and on demand company. Is that
Yep.
what that is? It's like Printify or Bubble or any of those other,
Yep.
or and does it also connect to Amazon so that you can sell on Amazon?
Um, Not that I know of, but you can, it's a whole nother conversation, and I am
Okay.
not the expert at this. I do know there are ways to set up shops and use print on demand in those shops, but you need to find somebody.
Okay, but like, let's
It's really
say,
good at that.
does Spreadshop do books too? Like that kind of, or is it all just clothing and bags?
It's all clothing and bags and let
Yeah.
me just kind of give you an idea. They do stickers, they do mugs, they do those long
Mm,
what do you call them? Water bottles.
yeah.
Uh they do sweatshirts, they do hats.
Okay.
There are different mugs, drinkware, aprons, buttons, pillows, and
Okay.
hats and stuff. So
But
that's mainly what they do.
but if you were going to do more like books and planners and things like that, programs that are physical, and you could create them on print on demand on Amazon and go through this same process just using their link instead of Spreadshop, right?
Yep, this is exactly what I did with my book, Ignited. This
Okay.
is on Amazon,
Okay.
and if you click the link, you get taken to Amazon,
Mhm.
which is the exact same process. You're just
Okay.
gonna save the picture. I just copy the description that I have,
Uh-huh.
and then
Cool
I
book,
just
by the
use,
way. It's
thank
awesome.
you. Um, and then you would either copy the browser link,
Okay.
or I like to just, because I'm an affiliate, I
Uh-huh.
just like to get the link because I know that it's going to get credited to me. And
Right.
that's the link I use. And then you just buy it now and highlight it and click the link thing and put your link in there.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. And this is a physical product that gets sent then to them? Or is
Yeah,
it,
it's a
yeah, cool.
it's a physical product and it's through Amazon. So you're not having to like come up with payment links or anything for any of these if you're doing print on demand or if you're doing Amazon products. And you can sell other Amazon products. These are my books. I wrote them. So
Mhm.
I don't feel the need to have to put that this is an affiliate link because
Right.
duh.
Right. Yeah.
But with Amazon, I do know that if you're going to try to sell Amazon products in your shop, you do want to make it very clear that this is an affiliate link and that it goes to Amazon.
Okay. Got it.
The
Probably
problem with
be
Am-
safer if I did that with books too.
the problem with Amazon is you only get a couple of dollars per item, don't you? So if you're doing
Um,
journals and stuff, you can't really recoup much from it.
uh, yeah, it wasn't always that way, but it's better to sell much larger items with Amazon because the commission break, they have different commission breaks now than they used to. But if you're selling your own products, your books that are on Amazon, like this is my book, these are my books. The Manifesting Journal, I'm I wrote this. Sacred Redesign is a community book that I was part of. And then the Soap Maker's Journal, I wrote this. Um, so I get commission from Amazon because
They're yours.
they're mine.
Yeah.
And I know you can do all kinds of low content books like journals, you can make coloring books, you can do just like so many different things over there and then they're here and you can sell them here. You can sell them on Amazon, you can also sell them on Substack without having to create like a Shopify shop and do all of the nightmare stuff that's involved with doing that. Like I said, this is just a really down and dirty way to set up a shop without having to go through all of the other processes that are required to have a more standalone shop. Because this is just like, oh, by the way, you can buy this stuff. We're not designing shops that are going to be SEO'd and have a lot of traffic run to them. We don't want to be sending these links out. We don't want to spam the Skool or Substack community, but we want to be able to have things that we're creating in a space. Like I know Caroline has has a crochet community, and the people in the crochet community are really good at creating cool stuff that sometimes they might want to sell or offer for sale. And she could have a classroom where she allows people to put their items up there with a payment link so they could sell them in her little shop. Or she could just sell her stuff and they could have their own communities and sell their own stuff. But
Can you sell a class or a program this way too, or is there a different way to do that?
it, school itself is set up to sell courses. Like, I'm not going to be able to show you with this. Oh, here, I can show you this way. Hold on. All of these courses are available in different ways for different people. They're not all free. So you can create a course and you'll name it and you'll give it a description, and you can either have a buy now button, which will go through school, so they'll collect their portion of the payment, but they can just get immediate access to the course. Or you can have I think this buy now is, yeah. Okay, so if you do the buy now, they can pay one price, or they can become say a premium member or a standard member. No, a premium member or a VIP member. Okay. It's either or.
Okay.
So anybody that's already a premium member, if you have like 5 of these courses set up and they are like $49 a piece, then your premium members can get access to all of them. But people can also just buy them a la carte. Does that make sense?
Kind of, but enough so that I can do a little research myself. So thank you.
Okay. Well, you're always welcome to just ask me
Yeah.
questions. Okay. So, do we have other questions about, let me cancel this, about creating a school shop? I know this was really super simple. And if not, we will move on to
Substack.
Substack. And if
Question
you
for you,
do
Jill.
have questions, please just unmute yourself. I can't see everybody. It's great to have you all here, but
Hey Jill, I have a question for you.
uh-huh.
So with the school shops, does it matter what kind of school membership you have? If you have like the light $9 a month school membership or the $99 pro membership, does that affect the school shop? Can you not do a school shop with the light membership versus the pro membership?
Really, the only difference between a hobby membership and a pro membership on Skool is that the hobby membership will take 10% plus 30 cents for purchases of your community or any purchases that you run through Skool. These shops that we're talking about, you're not actually buying anything on Skool. So you're just setting it up in a situation where they can click a link to get taken to a spot where they can make some choices and actually make the purchase. They're not making the purchase in the shop. So that doesn't matter. The only other thing, the difference between the pro and the hobby plans are that you have access to more plug-in options on the pro plan. It's and you can offer affiliate commissions to people who are on, as long as you're on the pro plan. If you have a pro plan, you can offer affiliate links to people to invite people into your community. I mean, you can't do that as on the hobby plan. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Any other questions about this? Unmute and chime in. All right. Can you have that puzzled look on your face? Y'all good? Okay. All right. So now we're going to go over to Substack and we're going to create a post. And the reason I want to create a post is that I want to, I'm going to create a text post. It's come to my attention that if you create pages, you can't find them on the app on your phone. So we want to create a shop, and we can just call it the merch shop. Well, that's what I'm going to call mine anyway. And then we're going to have a section. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put it in the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind for now. I would probably make a different section for your shop so that it's in a different space. And then you can highlight different items that you're selling. And so you'd have different posts on your main page. Here, let me just come over here and show you what I'm talking about. Um, oh. Hmm. Um, Say you have a shop and your main shop is going to be, the picture's going to be right here, and then you can have different items that you can talk about in this section. So you have your shop section, and then you can have your podcast section, and you can have your other content section and different spaces on your publication, but you can pin the actual shop link right to the front page. And then as you're creating the shop over here, you can do one of two things. One, you can just do the copy paste method that we were doing over on Skool. And let's just copy the image, go over here. And I think I'll just put t-shirts for the U world order. And then we're going to make that, we're going to give it a style. We'll make it a header, an H2 header. And then we're going to put this one here. And we can actually link this picture to this, Control-C. Hopefully I picked the whole thing up. And we're going to paste it in there. So now it's got a link. No. Okay. And then we can put a custom button underneath that says, learn more. Let me type it in the right spot. Learn more. Or buy now. Buy now. And then we'll put that link in here as well. So sorry. Come on. I don't know what happened to that. Let's try again. Is okay. There we go. All right, and we got the buy now button. And then let's do you guys kind of get the idea? I'll do a book from here. I'll just do this one. Copy image. Make this section books. We're going to highlight it. We're going to do style. H2. On here, Control V. So the image shows up. I'm going to come over here. We're going to grab the link. C, editing. Link to this. Save. You can also put some information around these. Like I'm gonna just copy the book description. I'm all about trying to like make things as simple as possible for myself. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to stick that down here. We're going to make another custom button. So we click the button, custom button. Buy now. Go back over, grab the link again. Copy that. Plug that in there. All right. So now we have a couple items on here. And I see that we've got stuff going on in the chat. So let me just look at the chat really fast. Oh, Maria Tracy says she uses TeePublic and they ship worldwide. Can you create an account on TeePublic, Tracy? Do
Duly
you know?
noted.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. I think we got all the chats. Okay. So then we would publish this, and you're going to come over here and you're going to make it available for everyone. And that will be everyone. And then you're going to put your post in the section that it belongs in and hit save. And then you can create some tags. So whatever your tags are that you want to use with it. I would say make a picture for your shop like I had created for the school community. I'm not really sure what I did with that. Hold on just a second. Copy this image, just come over here. I'm going to close this for just a second. I want to put, come up here and say, I want to put the image on top of this. Make sure that you allow comments from everyone. And so now my image is going to look more like a shop would look. I'm going to schedule this, publish and schedule it later because I want to add more stuff to it. All right. So I have 2 days to either unpublish it. And I'm just gonna do it without buttons because I have a header that has buttons in it. Okay, so we can preview this. You're going to want to post. So we're going to edit the post. You might have to wait until it's published in order to do this. I'll show you how to do it with, here's a post that I already have. If you come over to your post section and you click on the little dots, you can pin it to the home page. or once it's already published, you can pin it to a section. Like this post is pinned to this section. Um, this is not. This is just whichever is the latest episode gets pinned or shows up there. And this is the same. It's whichever was the last thing I posted gets shown there. This, however, is pinned to the top. So does this make sense to you guys? Is it like clear enough that you think you could do it on your own?
So I have a question, I have a couple of questions. So one is, uh, how does somebody find that? How do they find your store? Do you constantly post about it and that just kind of keeps it in mind? Or is there does it show up somewhere that they would see it in a feed? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, and because you're creating a post, you can do two things. One, you can go over to settings. I have to try to move this because it's there. Okay. You go over to settings and you can put it on your menu bar by going down to, is that? The navigation bar links. You can just add add a new navigation bar link, and then you would put like, just say merch shop, but you want to make sure that your post is live, and you would use the live link right here for the link, and then it will show up on your menu bar, like across here. And you can use this tip for creating links to other spaces, like like the client acquisition audit, it goes to another link off of Substack.
okay, that was my next question. Like, let's say you have something that you made and you put into like a Google Doc or a video that's in Google Drive. You can do the same thing and do it like that. Just put
Yep.
that link in there. Okay.
Yep. And you could have an image that talks about whatever you're trying to sell over on Google Docs or your Google Drive.
Mhm.
And that would go to a Stripe link.
Okay, yeah, we could go to a Stripe link, right? But that so in Substack, it always goes to a Stripe link, right? So doesn't Substack take their little percentage off of whatever you're selling?
No, it doesn't always go. If they become a subscriber,
Ah,
that goes through Stripe.
oh,
And
okay.
that goes through Stripe as you've set it up. But if you're sending them someplace else to make a purchase and you're planning on fulfilling it, um, the way to do that would be to create a Stripe link that has the redirect once they make the payment to go to your either a thank you page or to actually go to the product itself, which could be a Google Doc or a video or something special just for them.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually will make a video on how to do that. It's not complicated, but I think if I just did screenshots all the way through it, it would make more sense and it would be easier to follow
Yeah,
for doing what you're talking about doing.
right. Okay.
Okay. Questions about how to make this work for
Oof.
you and your particular um, thing that you're doing. I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing. Okay. So I can look at all your faces.
Jill, do you use your Substack and link that also to a website that's yours? Or is
I
that directly to the Google, I forget, wait, the Spreadshop, or is that just directly to the Spreadshop from your website?
I have several websites. So I'm going to dance around this question a little bit. I, you can do a lot of different things with this where um, it- the the client acquisition audit that goes to a landing page to invite people to a conversation with me. That's one thing that I have on the menu. In the shop, if you're trying to sell merchandise, you're going to want that merchandise to either go to a shop that's already set up, like a print-on-demand shop or Amazon, someplace where the payment can be processed and delivery is automatic. Or you're going to want to set up a Stripe link. And with the Stripe link, you're either going to do the fulfillment yourself, if it's a physical product, or you're going to send them via redirect to wherever the delivery of that product is going to happen. Does that make sense?
It does. Thanks.
Okay.
So on top of that, then, do you really ever need an actual website anymore, or is Substack and Skool and landing pages that you can create on Canva all day long enough to have a business?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Google. Lean into Google.
I don't know about that. That's now you're talking a different thing here.
I know it's just a different level, but it's a place where you can deliver content and um you can make it private and you can do it with Skool. There are so many different ways to put all these pieces together these days that you really don't need a website. You don't need to really pay for some of these larger platforms. It can get really expensive for like one-off sorts of stuff. Like excuse me, I did Etsy for a while and I was selling a print on demand product. And it got super expensive, and then you have to deal with uh, people with returns, and sometimes they're unhappy with what they bought because they don't read, or it's just like it's so complicated. And I've set up Shopify shops before, and again, it gets super complicated and really expensive unless that's your primary thing that you're doing. Like I know people that sell t-shirts all day long. They have a brand around it. It's their business. That's all they do is sell these t-shirts that are related to something. Coffee is another one. Um the coffee brands out there that are like community related coffee, community related t-shirts, wear your patriotism. They're just like you have to have some, I'm gonna call it a gimmick behind what it is that your merchandise is about to make some of these platforms really profitable for the average person. And you need an advertising budget because you're going to be spending money to run traffic to it, whether it's on Google or whatever space that you're going to be advertising in. It's the shops that I'm talking about creating are shops for the rest of us who we do other stuff, but hey, we created this really fun design and we're
Right.
sharing it with you. Or hey, I wrote this book. It it might help you to solve this problem that you have. I wrote it a long time ago and I'm doing something different now, but it's still, it has helpful advice in it. I-95. Yeah. So does all of this
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you. Yeah.
okay. Any other questions I can answer as I get ready to cough? Sorry about that. Someday I'm not going to be coughing anymore.
I do have one because was it this summer when I started joining the MMM classes and we did something similar about our offer, but we
Mhm.
did it on a page. So now you're saying that instead of using the long form content, it's best to use the short form content because that is visible on the web and on the app. Do I understand it right?
Yes. Yeah. I was talking
Okay.
about building pages and you can still build it as a page, but I think it works better as a post. And it can be really long. And you can have different pages or posts in like I would if I were going to do this on Substack, I would have a post about t-shirts in a certain
Mhm.
category and have an image for it, and that would connect to the main shop page. So your main shop page is more like a directory to link to the other
Okay.
posts that you've got in these different categories. So you're
And
going to have posts about your books. Bye, Ken. You're going to have posts about your books or your t-shirts or your offer, your bags or your creations. Maybe you make reindeers and maybe you make pot holders and
mhm,
um, maybe you make soap. Each of those would have different posts that could all
mhm,
go to the main shop page. But then on your newsletter um, main page, you're going to have the shop, and then you're going to have all of these different posts around it too.
hmm,
It's more likely that people will click on it.
okay, I got that. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else I can answer for people around this? You feeling good about it? Gonna try it? Who's gonna try it?
Me, definitely. Definitely on school. I missed a few bits for the Substack, but if it's similar to what we did this summer, then I can go back to the notes. I actually, if I can, I have a question for Cam, whom I've manifested tonight because I was thinking about him when we started this conversation, and here he is,
Hey,
which I
what's
think
up,
can be
guys?
useful for everybody. Good to see you, man. And I know you use Gumroad as well. So my question to you is, how good is standalone traffic on that platform?
Well, I just started using it not that long ago, maybe a few months ago, and I have I think 3 assets up there right now, 3 or 4, and
Hmm.
I am getting some trickle in traffic from Gumroad. So Gumroad will promote your stuff for you. Uh, I think I think they take like a 30% something crazy. I think they take like a 30% like commission when the traffic comes from them.
Hmm.
But primarily for me, I was selling low ticket over there. I don't think I have anything more than like $20 over there. It's really just a way to like get leads. That's what I've been using it for as a lead magnet driver. And I think it's worth it. Yeah, I think the few months that I've used it, I think it's worth it to put some low ticket stuff over there because they will generate some leads for you.
Okay.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, right on.
And I mean, at the end of the
And
day, it can all be linked to Substack. It can be linked to school. It's
uh,
just a different platforms because he
it's
has his own audience. That's why I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm all about if you got information, please bring it here. We're all here to,
Yeah, I think Gumroad's a pretty good little. I mean, like I think it's like, what are they getting? How much traffic how much traffic are they getting now? I think it's like, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, I'll look it up for you guys real quick, but I think it's um
Can
ah
I ask
man,
what
I'm
it
just drawing a
is?
blank.
What is Gumroad?
it's a website where you can post products and sell things. It's kind of like the classroom inside of school, except it's a standalone platform. And I didn't know that they had their own traffic that they were running there. And even 30% of something is not
They're,
zero,
they're getting
you
like 16
know?
million, right? They're getting like 16 million visitors a month on Gumroad. They have
Mhm.
their own like traffic. I wouldn't say it's as blown out as Substack, right? I mean, Substack, they started their notes implementation and it became this like virtual like social media. I mean, I remember being on Substack in 2020 and I mean, you really had to bring your own audience in 2020. It was about 11 million visitors a month is what they were getting, and it was growing fast. It was a good opportunity, but you couldn't create a lot of audience there on Substack. And now it's like 110, 120 million visitors a month on Substack. And you could really just build from nothing right there. If you just dedicate 100% of your time to growing on Substack. And I know you've talked about that plenty of times here, but you can grow there. And that's what like 120 million visitors a month looks like. With Gumroad, it's like maybe like what did I say? Like 15 million or something, 12
16
million
million.
a month. I mean, they're getting traffic. I think the reason why Gumroad matters today is because a lot of people trust Gumroad and they have this ability and they will use it to promote you. If they see that your stuff is selling a little bit, they'll promote it and see what happens. So any kind of help, anytime you can get a whole platform to help you a little bit, it's helpful. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And anytime you can sell something in a community that's
Mhm.
helping you, like Substack is part of a community where they're benefiting by helping you make sales. Gumroad benefits when you make sales, so they want you to make sales.
Mhm.
And Skool is the same way. It's why they have the affiliate off links. They want you to be successful, and anytime you can like piggyback off of that, and when you're selling your stuff in one space, be sure to share where they can meet you in other spaces where you can sell them more stuff and have bigger conversations with them.
Mhm.
So it's all about moving stuff around, but taking advantage of every space that you can. Like Gumroad is, I'm going to put stuff up on Gumroad Cam. It's just like I had no idea that they were promoting stuff for you.
well,
Mhm.
it's about leads, right? I mean, it's like if we can find ways to pull in new leads that are real people, okay? I'm talking about real people. You got to
Mhm.
be
Yeah.
careful with some of these lead generation tactics with like solo ads and some of this kind of like low tier paid avenues for lead generation. It's tough, man. There's a lot of scammy stuff out there, especially with the rise of AI and all the different ways that's being used. But
Yeah.
if you can find real people, and usually that means people who pull out credit cards and buy things, if you can get leads that way, yeah, I mean, you got to explore a bunch, you got to diversify with the lead acquisition. So,
And you're sending them there for a reason to do something. And so you can have, send them from Substack into Gumroad, and then they're in a different portion of your web, so to speak. And
Mhm.
you can get them to buy other things because they bought this one thing. And people that buy something from you are more likely to buy other things from you and join your communities. What you got, Susan?
So, based on what Cam was just sharing and what you were talking about earlier around the numbers of visitors, I'm wondering, is there a way to determine who those visitors are? Like, if I'm looking for something around education or homeschoolers, um, would there be a platform that would be better for me to be um, trying to post about? I'm on Substack, but a very small thing right now. But
Mhm.
I'll start to put more attention on it. Having a third book coming out, and now will be creating materials also. So, is there a way to kind of filter out and determine how many people in either Gumroad or Substack? I think Substack I can figure that out, but a platform that would be good for education.
I would say Gumroad is free. I mean, you can go the Udemy route. There are places where you can put educational content, but it really is like I think next year is going to be more about building real community and human connections We're going to be doing more stuff like this. We're going to be going live more. We're going to be showing up for our communities and our buyers because people are tired of AI. Last year was just like pushing the AI ball up the hill, and everybody is like trying to roll down the other side with it. And people are like, no, I don't want that. I don't care if people use AI. I use AI a lot, but you need to know that what you're putting out from AI is actually right. And a lot of times you can't really trust what people are telling you AI is telling you. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
And it's
Cam
getting
shares that
worse and it's getting
opinion.
more and more incorrect, even
Yeah.
ChatGPT. But
And
I
you can
would
have
say
arguments with ChatGPT and it will
all
come
day
around to your
long.
point of view.
And now he gets stroppy and then he says, I'm going to stop working with you.
What kind of education
But
do you
no,
do?
I think, I mean, Cam, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Gumroad, it's a good place. Like you said, if you have a low ticket piece of digital content and you just want a platform that does the work for you, just upload it there, whether it's educational, whatever the niche.
Mhm.
And even if it's like trickle, like you said, it's just like you put it there, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to advertise it. You don't have to think about algorithm. Just leave it there and see how it goes. That's why I wanted to ask him what he thought about it.
I'm glad that you did. Susan, you're welcome to just like jump in.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait to be called on around here. We're not that formal. Just unmute, hon.
Yeah, that was my bad. I didn't realize it was still up. No, I was just responding to Cam. I think I heard him say what kind of education. So I'm a Montessorian by trade. My background's all around early language and literacy development. I can see, right now I work in schools. I coach teachers in different states virtually. But I do agree with you. I think, Jill, that last part you were just talking about is gold, right? Creating community. And I think that there are a lot of homeschooling parents that buy curriculum and buy materials, and they don't really know what to do with it. They think the workbook is going to, yay, my child's going to read. Where I think that if we could help parents get through like purposeful assessment and help them do that. And okay, now we have some information. What are we going to do that? That's called data. What are we going to use with that information? And what can then I would love to do affiliates and not necessarily make my own materials, but do affiliates with other organizations and say, you can purchase these things and I'll show you how to use them at home. So that's kind of what
That
I'm
would
hoping to
be
build.
spectacular.
Oh,
I'm a former homeschooling mom,
I was
and
too.
uh, it's needed. People just don't know what to do with the curriculum that they're getting, and so that they slide into let's do school at home,
Hmm.
which doesn't really, I think, benefit kids as much as being able to take the curriculums and make them work in your family, the way your family is being raised
Yes.
and
Oh,
trained.
I
And
love that. Hmm.
we never
Yes.
graded anything
Yeah. Not
ever.
needed. No,
It's not needed. All it does is make people feel less than.
that's right.
It's like,
Build
and
on what is working as the adult, as the educator. I'll figure out what you need to learn next based on the information that you're demonstrating. We don't need to say that it's a deficit at all or it was wrong or anything. It's just that's my cue that I have to do something to help you to learn whatever it is you haven't learned yet.
yeah, it's just data. I just said. So I'm like excited for you, and I can see how Skool and Substack and Gumroad would all work together for you to bring people into community that way. And yeah, it's it's a space whose time has come. Go, Susan.
Hey, you know that homeschooling niche, Susan, you ever check out that website Nextdoor, nextdoor.com? It focuses on like a lot of different local communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder if that might not be a good source for
Hmm.
you as far as like some business, you know.
I know that they approach us for our neighborhood. It's like, oh, some other people in your neighborhood are on next door. Would you like to be? But I hadn't thought about it as a location for homeschooling families. Okay,
And
good to know.
Aligned is another one that
Aligned, ALINGNED.
I think that's the name of it. It's another social media networking type space, but it's really big on connecting people that are more local. And well, I realize what you're offering is more global. You can start doing stuff locally and then you kind of spread out from there and then to school.
You might also want to look at the game school community. And they have a big conference every year in California. And so, I mean, it's what it sounds like. They teach by using games and gamification. But that might be a whole nother community that you haven't connected with yet.
I've just been accepted to South by Southwest EDU as a mentor. So that's like a whole new world. I don't even know. And that's in March. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be outrageous. But thank you. Yes, I don't know about that one, but I will look it up. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Well, we're so glad you joined us.
Oh, I'm glad I saw your email today.
Yeah. All right. We got any other questions, comments, thoughts before we wrap it up?
Jill, I want to create a a journal,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure. I was just going to put the PDF in the thing and say go print it yourself and go to Officeworks if you know what that is and go and get it bound. And you're right. Should I be actually selling it somehow or?
Yeah, you can sell it on KDP, which is it's kdp.com. Could be kdp.org. I'm not positive which one that is, but it's Amazon's print on demand book
Yep.
that's self-publishing, but it gets on their network. And um, so you can have a Kindle copy or a physical copy or both or one or the other. Um, and then you've got a spot where you can send people to make the purchase without having to have them just print it out. A lot of times people don't like to print out things like journals because there's so much to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, KDP is what I would suggest if you're trying to just do self-publishing. And it's pretty simple, and there's places that you can go. Kindlepreneur, I think it's .com also, is a gentleman who has a whole website all about printing on Amazon, which did start out as a bookseller.
And can you do things like the spiral bound? Say, I want it to have spiral bound.
I'm not sure that KDP does that, but Canva does that.
Do they?
Canva does print on demand also.
Yeah, but their
Oh,
spiral bound is really expensive.
Yeah, it is really expensive. And you can only do
okay.
like 300 pages with Canva
Yes, that is an issue.
when you're
I
doing
have a
stuff with
couple. I have
jobs.
a couple of ASI connections that I can probably find for you that do the print on demand as well for spiral bound books. So let me look that up and I'll send it to you, Jill, and you can pass it around.
Okay. You
Thank you.
just stick it in the group.
Okay,
Make a post and just say,
I'll do what I
hey,
want. Oh, no, of course.
do what you want. Throw it across the room.
Well, I'll throw this phone right now. Don't tempt me with a
Okay.
good time.
Teasing her about throwing her phone around.
Every time I haven't done it this call, and we're doing really great stuff.
Remarkable. Which
Yeah.
is why we're remarking on it.
Wow. Okay, so I do actually have a question. Going back to just the Substack page. I'm confused as hell, I'm gonna be honest with you. But I think that's probably to be expected. Uh, I don't know what the hell you did there. So is it? 'Cause it's just on your home or is it on your website? I'm confused
Okay, so
because you can't see it all from
there's
mobile, right?
you can.
Oh,
If you create a post, we're talking about the newsletter side
okay.
of Substack.
Like
And
article, correct?
yes,
Okay,
you want to create a post over there or an article, not a note.
correct.
Okay, so we're creating an article over there, and that article is about the different products that you're selling. It is the products you're selling.
Copy.
A step further with that would be to create a series of posts about the products you're selling that
Mm-hmm.
connect back to a main post. So you have the spoke in the middle or the hub in the middle, and then the spokes would be the different categories of items that you're selling.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, Jason. Um, and then you would have a section on your Substack that is just your shop. And so it would all show up in one space on your newsletter. Does that make sense?
I, uh, but so it's only on the newsletter though. So
Mhm.
no, I guess I'm still confused. To be honest with you.
Okay, so
No, and I'm so sorry. I apologize. I think it's just because I have to try to figure out how to memorize it, like the names of the buttons to find things.
um,
No.
yes. Are you talking about the links at the top of the newsletter?
No. Okay. So it looked like. Okay. Let me back. I'm backing up here. So. Well, I know how to make a newsletter and make the post, and I understand that from like selling from my newsletter. But I'm saying is because I saw a YouTube video, and it wasn't yours, but it was like somebody, like if they go to their home, right? It'll say, or not their home, their like their website or their profile. It'll have like where it says like home, about, whatever, the tabs at the top.
Uh-huh.
And they had a shop right there in the middle.
Right. And that shop button, that's in the navigation pages under settings.
Oh,
Um, and that shop button can either go to an actual shop somewhere else,
uh-huh.
or it can go to your post. You
Okay.
get to determine where that link leads to.
Copy, copy, copy.
Okay.
Um,
Is that a little bit
It
clearer for you?
kind of.
So you can create the shop on Substack,
Uh-huh.
and then you can link it on the navigation bar at the top. Two separate steps.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm just, huh.
We'll go live one of these days, and
Yeah, we'll go.
you
Yeah,
and I will
I'm so sorry.
we'll
Feel free.
navigate it onto the big screen.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll just have to try to figure it out. It just takes me a little bit longer, and I just because
It's all good, Allie. And
I
I'm more
apologize.
than happy to answer any of the questions that you have.
Okay.
And I will hop on with you and
Okie dokie.
anytime.
All right.
Okay?
All right. Well, thank you so much. You are my favorite.
All right.
All right. Talk to you
All
later.
right. All right.
Bye.
Anybody else have any final thoughts, questions? Okay.
Hey, just wanted to say thanks for having us on, Jill, and good to see everybody. And appreciate you guys putting these on every week. It's so awesome. I think it's the hardest thing to be so consistent, and you guys are doing a great job at it. So awesome.
Well, thank Thanks,
Yeah,
Kim.
good to
We're
see
really
you. It's
glad that you
been so
joined us.
long.
And
Good to see you, Jill. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
My
good to
thoughts
see
are
yeah,
you,
with
thanks
you.
Ali.
for. All
Thank
right,
you.
you guys, have a wonderful New Year's and New Year's Eve, and we'll meet next week.
Sounds good. Thank
Bye. Happy
you.
New Year. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.